Pause.
登高，风急天高猿小哀，朱青杀百鸟飞回。无边落木萧萧下，不尽长江滚滚来。万里悲秋常作客，百年多病独登台。艰难苦恨繁霜鬓，潦倒新停浊酒杯。
All right, let's step into the world that Du Fu has created for us and really explore this incredible poem line by line. It starts like this: Fengjie Gao Yuan Shao Ai. In English, we might say, the wind is sharp, the sky is high, a gibbon's cry is misery. So right here, the poet is writing not just about what he sees, but about what he feels and hears all around him.
Du Fu throws us right into this vast sensory landscape. You know, it's not some gentle breeze, but a sharp wind that feels like it cuts straight to the bone. The sky isn't just there, it's high, and that gives you this feeling of dizzying emptiness. And then, piercing through that silence, you hear a gibbon's cry, a sound that, in classical Chinese poetry, is pretty much the very definition of sorrow and loss. I mean, with a single brushstroke, he's created this entire universe of desolation.
The poem then pulls our eye from the huge, open sky all the way down to this one single, solitary detail, 竹青沙百鸟飞回, which means, on the clear islet and white sand, a bird circles and wheels. Just notice how this image unfolds with such sharp focus.
See what he did there? It's like a cinematic shift in perspective. We go from this immense sky to an almost microscopic view. And look at the colors, or, well, the lack of them. The palette is stark, it's cold, it's completely drained of warmth. You've got clear water, white sand. And right in the middle of this pale frame, there's this lone bird, just trapped, circling endlessly, like it has nowhere to land, no place to rest. It's such a powerful visual for a lost and wandering soul. Okay, so just as we've zoomed in on this lonely bird, the poem yanks our perspective back out again, revealing a scene of absolutely breathtaking scale. 无边落木萧萧下. Boundless, the falling leaves descend with a rustling whisper. Just feel the weight of that word, boundless. Here, you can almost feel the crushing weight of autumn's decay. This isn't just a few leaves fluttering down, it's a boundless cascade, like an overwhelming flood. And the sound? Shao shao. That's onomatopoeia for their descent, this soft but relentless whisper. You realize this isn't just the sound of a season changing. It's the sound of time itself passing, of countless lives fading away on an epic, massive scale.
And then this incredible force of nature enters the scene. It's a powerful contrast to that gentle whisper of the leaves. 不尽长江滚滚来. Endless, the great Yangtze River comes rolling on. The momentum in this line, it's just almost overwhelming.
So if those falling leaves are a symbol of our own fragile, fleeting lives, then the river is the embodiment of time itself. It is endless. And its movement, gung-gun, it suggests this powerful, unstoppable, churning force. It's this eternal presence just rolling on, completely indifferent to the poet's small and brief sorrow. The contrast between the two is just staggering and so humbling.
Right at the poem's halfway point, the camera pulls away from the external landscape and we're drawn deep into the poet's inner world. Wanli Bei Chu, Changzhou Ke, 10,000 miles from home, grieving autumn, always a guest.
In just these few words, the poet paints this absolutely devastating portrait of his own life. It's a life of exile in space. He's 10,000 miles from where he belongs. It's a life of endless sorrow in time. He's forever grieving autumn's decline. And it's a life of never ever truly belonging, of being always a guest. He's just adrift in both geography and in spirit.
The sheer weight of the poet's solitude becomes almost unbearable in this next line. 百年多病独登台. A lifetime of sickness, alone I climb this high terrace. That word for alone, du, it sits right at the very heart of this line.
Now the poem's focus narrows right down to the poet's own body, this vessel that has carried a lifetime of pain and decay. He is just burdened by constant physical sickness, and as he stands there, facing this vast, indifferent landscape, he is completely and utterly alone. All the sorrows of the world, all the sorrows of his life, they all just converge in this one single moment of isolation.
The poet's sorrow is so deep, so profound, that it has literally etched itself onto his very being. 艰难苦恨繁霜鬓. Hardships and bitter regrets have frosted my temples white.
This right here, This is the raw, beating heart of the poem. Du Fu just unleashes 4 characters in a row that are a torrent of pure suffering, hardship, difficulty, bitterness, regret. This is his own personal pain, sure, but it's also his grief for a nation that's been torn apart by war. And this huge, abstract weight of sorrow has become a visible, physical thing. It has turned his hair to frost.
And the poem ends not with some grand statement, but with this quiet, heartbreaking whisper of defeat. 潦倒心凭浊酒杯. Worn out and dejected, I've just recently stopped my cup of coarse wine. You know, what makes this ending so devastating is just how small it is. After all that epic imagery, it all comes down to a simple cup. The term 潦倒 is so much more than just worn out. It carries the heavy, heavy burden of failure, of a life's ambitions left unfulfilled. And now, because of his illness, even the one small comfort he had left, a cup of wine to just blunt the edges of his pain, has just been taken away. There's literally nothing left to console him. So after making this really hard climb with the poet, what is the view from this summit of sorrow? What have we really seen?
Well, the poem's power really comes from this stark contrast between the huge, indifferent universe and the small, fragile human heart. On one side, you have the immense, eternal forces of nature, and on the other, you have the frail, finite, suffering poet, just a tiny speck of consciousness, bearing an impossible weight against the backdrop of an unfeeling cosmos.
And this feeling, it actually has a name. It's called Bei Chu, which translates to the sorrow of autumn. It's a really deep and recurring theme in Chinese literature. This idea that the fading light and the dying leaves of the season are a perfect mirror for our own feelings of aging, loss, and the relentless march of time.
In the end, the most powerful echo we get from the summit is this one couplet. 无边落木萧萧写，不经长江滚滚来. Boundless, the falling leaves descend with a rustling whisper. Endless, the great Yangtze River comes rolling on.
What makes this poem a true masterpiece, one that's been revered for over 1,000 years, is that Du Fu's 8th century sorrow isn't just his own. It speaks to a timeless, universal human condition, of facing our own mortality, of feeling lost or displaced, and of watching time just roll on, with or without us. And that kind of leaves us with a final question to think about. When you stand before something truly immense, an ocean, a mountain range, a vast and starry sky, how does it make you feel about your own brief, beautiful life?